Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to my sonic temple. I've been trying to come up with a name for my practice space here for a while. I was thinking the Temple of Silence, which is an old spiritual song, but I think I like the Sonic Temple better. So welcome to the Sonic Temple. I'm down here this afternoon to start to get to work on a lot of my sounds for a couple of upcoming events that we have. As a matter of fact, just this afternoon I picked up my PRS baritone and my PRS custom electric guitars. I had them for for some repair work that's done by a friend of mine named Tim, who has a little business that he runs out of his house. It's called Tim's Instrument Services. Tim used to own a guitar store called Music Castle here in Royal Oak, and when he closed that down, I was bummed because I would take guitars there, have him make custom cables for me, have him, he's put pickups in this acoustic guitar here, which didn't have one. He's actually put one in another guitar that I used to use quite a bit. It was a Martin backpacker guitar, and I was using that once in a while to play some ambient music on. In the early days when I first started to play ambient music, 2018, 2019. So Tim put new strings on it, adjusted the action, especially on my baritone. The action is so much better than when I got it from Sweetwater. So he cleaned it up, checked everything out, tuned it up. Like I said, new strings, checked the electronics out, adjusted the action on both those guitars so they're ready to go. So in this video, I wanted to hopefully talk briefly about my aspirations for this year. I've talked about this in a prior video earlier in the year, that one of my goals for this year was to do 6 or 8 live ambient music gigs this year. And I knew it was going to be an uphill battle because, most of these yoga studios today, which is primarily where, basically where I would play at, they're like very stuck in this mode of everybody does sound journeys, sound events with singing bowls. So it's hard to get these people off center and have them try something else. So I knew it was going to be an uphill battle. So the first one I scheduled with a friend of mine who has a yoga studio now. He didn't want to sponsor the event or host me at the event. I gave him the option. I said, listen, we can split the money 50-50, or I can just rent the space from you. So he said, well, just rent the space from me. So I set the date. It's April 11th. It's coming up in about 3.5 weeks. And so I'm kind of financing that myself. That's the first event. And I'm happy to say that I have been successful in scheduling 7 events so far this year, and possibly an 8th one. I'm waiting to hear back from somebody on that. But I'm really pretty happy about it. I don't know how it happened, but we're going to be playing at some different places. I've got this event coming up in April. Again, it's a studio. It's only 10 minutes from our house. The next event we're going to do came up purely by accident, very serendipitously. My wife happened to be out at a bank that we bank at nearby, and it's only 2 buildings away from where we used to operate our actual yoga studio at. And it's now like a little boutique store. They sell different little things. But my wife Abby went in there and talked to the owner. She just wanted to see what it's like. And the whole back of the building is still pretty much the way we left it. So my wife talked to her. She said, hey, how would you feel about us coming in and providing some music for an event, and then people could shop at your store after or before? So she agreed to it. I'll probably make a video. I'm going to go see the space again because I haven't seen it recently. So we're going to go in there, and in a couple weeks, we're going to figure out how many people we can get in, what we might have to move around, and things like that. So that's our second event. Our third event is actually in Ann Arbor. It's about an hour away from here, but it's at this cool old bookstore. You can look it up online. It's a 2-story old building in downtown Ann Arbor. It's called Crazy Wisdom Bookstore, and they have an upstairs that now today they call it the Celestial Lounge. They do have some music there. They have other events there, and we're going to do that May 8th, so 2 days after the event that we do in our old yoga studio. So that's the third event. Now that event, they're going to kind of host us, but we're just going to do it by donation. So, and it's a whole different environment, different demographics, so it should be fun. The only problem is that the only way to get our gear up there is we have to walk up a flight of stairs, so it's going to be a little challenging. I have to get in shape for that. Our fourth event is here in our backyard. If you've watched some of our older videos, you've seen some of the events that we've done in the past in our big deck in the backyard. We're doing that here for summer solstice, June 20th. And then we're taking a break in July because we want to do some camping and some other things, some just chilling out. In August, this isn't including like what I'm doing with my ambient music, but in August, I'm playing congas and my wife's doing some percussion, and our friend who plays drums for our ambient music group plays a drum kit for this band. It's called the Vacationers. A bunch of old friends of mine. The guitarist is a friend of mine from high school. I first started playing guitar in bands with him back in the late 70s and early 80s. So I play congas with that band, and we have 3 gigs in August on consecutive Saturdays. The first Saturday, second Saturday, and third Saturday of the month of August. So it's going to be a busy month for us. And a couple of the events are pretty big events for us. The first event is going to be probably 3,000 to 4,000 people. It's a big outdoor event they do in St. Clair Shores throughout the summertime. So the second one that we're doing is up in northern Michigan, about 3 hours away. It's at a friend's cabin on a lake. He has a big party there every year, probably a couple hundred people. We're playing there just for fun. And the third one is a big backyard party that we played at last year. It's in a big backyard in Sterling Heights, which again is nearby. These folks have bands in their backyard every Saturday evening throughout the summer. So we played there last year. It was a blast. Made a good amount of money on that gig. And so we're going to do that again in August. So that's 3 gigs in August, a different type of gig. And then in September, going back to my ambient music, September, our 5th gig is at another yoga studio here in Troy, just a little bit north of us, about 30 minutes away. We've already got that booked. We went and looked at the space. It's a beautiful, very cool space. Looking forward to that. And then in October, we're doing a gig at a yoga studio in Windsor, Ontario. That's going to be fun. Again, a different demographic. It's going to be all Windsor people there, but I think it's going to be packed. I think that one's going to be a big event, very cool event. And it's a beautiful yoga space too. And then in November or December, we're not sure. We are planning an event in December for winter solstice, but we don't have a venue for that yet. But I did hear back from somebody that I wrote a couple of months ago. Finally, the space, I don't want to get too much into it, but it's a beautiful space. Big, beautiful space is at a massage school here nearby. But they have this big open space. They used to use it for holding yoga classes for their students. It's a beautiful space. I've taught yoga there before a couple of times. Gorgeous space, big, lots of lighting, really beautiful space. So we might do an event there in November and someplace else in November and December for winter solstice, but we might do our winter solstice event there. So that would be 7 events. So I'm pretty much there, just, partly by luck, partly by persistence. So, if you're somebody who plays ambient music, I've talked about this in another event, go out and try to find some place to play. I still have a couple of other ideas for things, but I'm not sure if I've got the time now. So we'll have to see what comes up. But I'm super excited that we've booked 7 events, and I will be doing videos with all these events too. So just wanted to share that with you folks. Stay tuned. I've got some other really good videos coming up. I'm going to be rebuilding both of my pedal boards before this first gig. So I'd be interested to hear what you think about that. So stay tuned. See you next time, everyone. Bye-bye. Have a great day.